Coverage you can count on. KOMU 8 News Today starts now.
We're tracking some breaking news this morning. The eastbound lanes are back open on I-70 in Callaway County after state troopers closed the entire interstate to respond to a law enforcement incident. Good morning and thanks for joining us. I'm Sarah Moyers. Traffic on westbound I-70 is being rerouted at the 144-mile marker. State troopers are there responding to what they're calling a law enforcement incident that's taking place on westbound I-70 near the 139-mile marker. Officials are asking drivers to avoid the area if possible. We have a reporter on the way and we'll continue to bring you updates both on air and on KOMU.com as we learn more. We are 23 days away from Election Day, and on the Missouri ballot is sports betting. All of Missouri's border states, except Oklahoma, have already legalized sports betting. One recent study from the University of Kansas looked into how it impacts vulnerable households. KOMU 8's Jordan Berger sat down with one of the authors of the study to learn about what they found.
As something like an industry like this grows on, and this is one step in that direction.
That was our very own Jordan Berger reporting. Amendment 2 would require $5 million per year earned from the sports betting tax to go to a problem gaming fund. Several groups are working hard to both for and against Amendment 2 under the guise that it will either help or hurt Missouri education programs. On the surface, a University of Missouri political professor says the motivation behind a yes vote on the bill is simple, but Missouri voters will have to decide if they believe the state will deliver on Amendment 2. Historically, the state has said it uses casino revenues to increase educational funds, but the president of the Kansas City Teachers Union is skeptical about the amounts of money being promised.
Way back in the 90s, when they asked us to pass casinos, they promised us that if you do that, we're going to fully fund education and you're never going to have any other education problems. That did not happen.
The educational split would be between more than 400 K-12 school districts, along with charter schools, religious schools, parochial schools, private schools, and colleges and universities, leaving very little money on the table. The actual revenue generated from sports betting for education is unknown. You can find more information about sports betting on KOMU.com. Election Day marks a new beginning for many across Missouri, but for some it marks the end. On November 5th, a new leader will be heading to the governor's mansion. Governor Mike Parson has spent 6 years in Missouri's top office, and he's gone through some of the state's most challenging times. From unexpected beginnings to an eventual end, the former sheriff is stepping away from the table.
I've sat in almost every seat in the General Assembly over the years. I've been a sheriff, as you said, a small business owner. But nothing prepares you for the set behind the desk of the governor of the state of Missouri. The highest honors I've ever had.
Parson says whoever steps in the office next has an uphill battle ahead of them. But for now, it's time for him to rest. Turning now to the presidential election, a new NBC News poll shows the presidential race deadlocked at 48%. Now, Vice President Harris and former President Trump are ramping up campaign events across the country, and another security concern is grabbing headlines. NBC's Alice Barr has the latest from Washington. We've seen the devastation left behind from Hurricane Milton, but in some communities, the worst may still be on the way. The Withlacoochee River, just north of Tampa, is still flooding neighborhoods nearby. Officials say that even this long after a hurricane, the water levels in the river will continue to rise. Residents in the area say their homes are gone.
We're complaining about no power. I need power, and we don't have a roof. People don't have homes.
And in some areas of the Withlacoochee, we're not going to see peaks for 4 weeks.
Police are patrolling by boat, truck, and helicopter to help people in the area. More than 2 weeks after Hurricane Helene hit North Carolina, up to 100,000 people in the Asheville area still do not have running water. More than 18,000 people are still without power in the state, according to PowerOutage.us. Crews from all over the country are helping to turn the lights back on, but they say it's tough work in the dense mountain forests, where some roads and bridges have been washed away. Coming up, back here in mid-Missouri, it's Mizzou's favorite time of year. We'll break down what's happening this homecoming week. Plus, a fashion trend for you and your furry friends. We'll tell you more about the announcement from the shoe brand Crocs. But first, you're taking a live look over downtown Columbia. The time is 6:09. Thanks for starting your week with us. We'll be right back. Okay, thanks, Delaney. Speaking of homecoming, today marks the start of another year of a local tradition. The University of Missouri is celebrating homecoming all this week. The Dome of Jesse Hall is representing Tiger Gold as MU celebrates 113 years of homecoming. The university is keeping up with its long-standing tradition through a series of events, all under this year's theme of Leading the Legacy. Starting at 6 p.m. tonight through Wednesday, students will entertain through skits, songs, and dances at Jesse Auditorium. Thursday marks homecoming's annual Decorate the District event, where storefronts downtown will be painted with Mizzou-themed artwork. On Friday, Greektown will be decked out with displays of iconic movies. Then later Friday night, National Panhellenic Council fraternities and sororities will perform in an intricate step show at 7 p.m. at Jesse Auditorium. Then on Saturday, the big day arrives with the annual homecoming parade at 8 a.m.
Nobody does homecoming like Mizzou.
Those are snippets of clips from last year's homecoming parade, and the Tigers will face off against Auburn at 11 a.m. on Faurot Field that day. That game is officially sold out. During halftime on Saturday, homecoming royalty will be crowned, and if you can't be there for the actual parade, you can watch it live on KOMU 8 with our hosts, First Alert meteorologist Matt Beckwith and sports director Ben Arnett. Mizzou football won their first game on the road this season. They beat UMass 45-3, moving up 2 spots in the AP poll. KOMU 8's Jacob Siciliano made the trip up north with the Tigers and found a surprising amount of fans in black and gold there to celebrate the big win.
Reporting from Amherst, Massachusetts, Jacob Siciliano, KOMU 8 News, Columbia.
And one of the biggest questions after the loss in Texas a week ago was how the Tiger defense would respond. Well, that's a question no longer. The Death Row defense lived up to its name, holding UMass to just 95 yards rushing and forcing 2 takeaways. After the game, linebacker Corey Flagg Jr. said everyone was just doing their job.
We played good on defense today because everybody was doing their job. So that's the result when we do our job. Well, yeah, a game like this, Coach Drink been preaching all week. We had to respond, and I'm pretty sure we did that today. And we just gotta keep on rolling, keep on stacking, and lead on to practice next week.
And that's a live look over the Columbia Regional Airport. Your time is 6:20. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back. Here's what's happening right now. State troopers are responding to what they're calling a law enforcement incident on westbound I-70 near the 139-mile marker in Callaway County. KOMU 8's Ellie Compton is live on the scene with more details. Ellie, good morning to you. So what do you know so far?
Hey, good morning, Sarah. I'm here at the 137-mile mark by the eastbound 170, where there's about 10 cars behind me. They are closing out the scene right now. We spoke to the public information officer earlier, who told us that she's going to meet back here with us in a few minutes to give us the details on what happened here this morning. Traffic was being rerouted for eastbound I-70, but eastbound I-70 is now open again. Westbound, on the other hand, is still being rerouted, and you can see that here. There's about a mile of traffic due to the rerouting. So we will be out here this morning giving you the latest details on what happened here today.
Well, good morning, everyone. The top weather story of this morning has been the cool air, which has been infiltrating into our area since about early morning on Sunday. We are currently 16 degrees colder than we were 24 hours ago. It's 20 degrees colder in Springfield and 15 out in Kansas City, and we're not quite done yet with the cooler weather. Take a look at this. Although we don't have any current warnings or advisories in place for our area, if you look just to our north and northwest Missouri, we have a frost advisory in effect until 9 a.m. and you're going to want to take this in and soak it in, because this is going to be us by the time we get to Wednesday, as we are looking at frost frost likely by the time we get to early morning on Wednesday as temps drop into the 30s. I'm going to be tracking our potential first frost right here at KOMU 8.
Okay, thanks, Delaney. If you're a fan of Crocs, you can soon pick up a pair for your dog. The footwear company is introducing Pet Crocs later this month in partnership with the pet supply company Bark. It's part of the annual Croctober campaign, which includes the release of a fan-inspired product. Starting on October 23rd, Pet Crocs will be available for a limited time in 2 colors. Matching clogs for humans will also be available the same day. Delaney, we were talking about this earlier. Our dogs probably aren't the right audience for this, but if you can somehow wrestle these shoes on your dog, I'm all for it. It's a good Halloween costume, maybe.
Oh, for
with
sure.
Some coordination going on.
I can't wait to go to the dog park and see everyone in their matching shoes, and I'm going to be envious because my dog just flicks them right off, and I'm not going to spend all the money on matching Crocs if my bestie won't even wear them
I know.
with me.
I'll get a pair for myself, but yeah, I do not feel like wrestling my dog to the ground.
Oh yeah, it's a never-ending battle there.
Yeah, I know. Let's take a live look over mid-Missouri now. That is South Columbia at 6:26. About 30 minutes left to go here on KOMU 8 News Today.